Welcome to Learn Africa. Today we explore Somalia, a nation defined by one of Africa's longest coastlines and a trading heritage that stretches back thousands of years. Often discussed only through the lens of conflict, Somalia's true story is far deeper, richer, and more complex. It is a story of oceans and deserts, merchants and poets, hardship and remarkable endurance. Located at the Horn of Africa, Somalia occupies one of the most strategic positions on the continent. It sits at the crossroads of Africa, the Middle East, and Asia, facing some of the world's busiest sea routes. The country stretches along the Indian Ocean and the Gulf of Aden, giving it the longest coastline in mainland Africa. For centuries, this geography placed Somalia at the heart of global maritime trade. Ships passing between Asia, the Middle East, and Europe sailed close to Somali shores. This access shaped Somalia's economy, culture, and global connections long before modern nation-states existed. Inland, Somalia is marked by arid plains, plateaus, and seasonal rivers. Life in these regions has always required resilience, adaptability, and strong community bonds. Nomadic pastoralism became a way of life, shaped by climate and geography. These landscapes produced a people skilled in survival, trade, and mobility. Long before European contact, Somali merchants were active participants in ancient trade networks. They traded frankincense, myrrh, livestock, gold, and spices with Arabia, Persia, India, and the Mediterranean world. Ancient Egyptian, Greek, and Roman sources all reference Somali coastal cities as vital trading hubs. Ports such as Zaila, Mogadishu, and Berbera thrived as centers of commerce and exchange. Somali sailors were known for their navigation skills and knowledge of monsoon winds. Trade brought not only wealth, but also ideas, languages, and religious influences. Through commerce, Somalia became deeply connected to global civilizations. One of the most transformative influences on Somali society was Islam. Islam arrived early through trade, not conquest. Muslim merchants and scholars settled along the coast, spreading faith, law, and education. Over time, Islam became central to Somali identity, shaping values, governance, and daily life. Mosques, Quranic schools, and scholarly traditions developed across the region. Islamic law influenced social organization and conflict resolution. Faith also strengthened ties with the wider Muslim world, from Arabia to East Africa. Somalia's Islamic heritage remains a core pillar of its national and cultural identity. In the late 19th and early 20th centuries, European colonial powers divided Somali territories. Britain controlled the north, while Italy governed the south. Colonial rule imposed artificial borders that ignored clan structures and historical unity. Infrastructure was developed primarily to serve colonial interests. Traditional systems of governance were weakened or sidelined. Despite this, Somali society retained strong cultural cohesion through language, religion, and oral tradition. Colonial rule ended in 1960, when British and Italian territories united to form the Somali Republic. Independence brought hope and optimism. Somalis envisioned a unified, prosperous nation grounded in shared identity. However, political instability, corruption, and Cold War pressures soon created deep challenges. Authoritarian rule and internal divisions weakened state institutions. In 1991, the central government collapsed, plunging the country into prolonged conflict. State collapse led to violence, displacement, and humanitarian crises. International attention focused heavily on chaos and piracy. Yet this narrative overlooked the resilience and ingenuity of Somali communities. Even without a strong central state, society did not disappear. Local governance systems emerged to provide order and services. Traditional elders, religious leaders, and community councils played vital roles. Somali diaspora communities sent billions in remittances, sustaining families and businesses. Entrepreneurs rebuilt markets, schools, and hospitals with limited resources. Telecommunications, money transfer systems, and trade networks adapted and even thrived. Somalia's recovery was slow, uneven, but deeply rooted in local effort. Culture remained a powerful source of unity throughout these difficult years. Somalis are known as a nation of poets. Poetry is not just art, but a form of communication, debate, and historical record. Poems are used to celebrate, criticize, educate, and inspire. Music and oral storytelling preserve history across generations. Clan identity plays a central role in social organization. While clans have sometimes contributed to conflict, they also provide support and social security. Hospitality, honor, and community responsibility are deeply valued. Despite hardship, Somali culture continues to thrive at home and abroad. Economically, Somalia holds immense untapped potential. Its coastline offers rich fisheries that remain largely underdeveloped. Ports such as Mogadishu, Berbera, and Kismayo are strategically positioned for regional trade. Livestock exports already play a major role in the economy. Agriculture along the Shabelle and Juba rivers supports farming communities. Trade links with the Middle East and East Africa continue to grow. With stability and investment, Somalia could become a major logistics and trade hub once again. In recent years, efforts to rebuild a federal government have made progress. Federal institutions have been established, supported by regional administrations. Elections, though imperfect, represent steps toward political participation. Security remains a challenge, but rebuilding efforts continue. Education, healthcare, and infrastructure are gradually expanding. Young Somalis, both inside the country and in the diaspora, are shaping a new future. Technology, entrepreneurship, and global connections offer new opportunities. Somalia today is not defined solely by its past struggles. It is a nation rebuilding itself from the ground up. The strength of its people remains its greatest asset. From ancient trade routes to modern ports, Somalia's global connections endure. From poetry to commerce, culture to resilience, the Somali story continues to evolve. The country's history reminds us that nations are more than their darkest chapters. Somalia's long coastline once connected Africa to the world. With peace and stability, it can do so again. Somalia's story is one of endurance and renewal. A story still being written by a people who refuse to give up on their future. Subscribe Learn Africa for more of these videos.